if he has a daughter and his daughter's in college, does that mean his daughter's paying for her tuition through being an OnlyFans girl?
Rollo.
Is that where he got the source? He's like, oh, my daughter's on it. That's how I know.
He better check in that dorm room, put a camera in the dorm room with your daughter in that thing. Like, what's going on, y'all? Ground Motivate back in this thing again with another video, man. And today we're back with the homie Kevin Ray Wild, man. And he is going in on a guy by the name of Rollo Tomassi. And if you don't know who Rollo Tomassi is, I kind of don't really know who he is either. I've definitely heard tell of him. He's supposedly the godfather of the manosphere and whatnot, and the red pill. He made like a little book, and I actually watched a video about the rules in the book, and I thought some of the rules were kind of decent, but I don't know. People have been coming at him lately talking about he's socially awkward. He's a weirdo. He's a nerd. There's no way he was getting girls back in the day. And I was on a live stream with Duke and Don the other day. He pulled up some pictures of him back in the day. I was like, he looked lame as hell. And I can't really get through a whole live stream of his, so I guess he is lame as hell. But yeah, let's go and check this thing out, man. The name of this video is Delusional. Rollo Tomassi exposes himself by trying to defend Fresh Prince CEO. And I definitely agree with that title right there, man. I feel like anybody that's trying to defend Fresh Prince CEO at this point in time, you must think we're stupid, or maybe you're just stupid. What do you think about that? Yeah, because I don't know. I kind of look at it as like when like a bad cop is doing something, like he threw some drugs on somebody, and then the other cop kind of looks away, or kind of like just he goes along with whatever he puts in the police report. Like, it's like that to me. It's
like, I understand there's like a bro code thing, right? But it's like there's certain extent.
Right. So what if Fred Prince went around graping somebody? You think they'd be like, oh yeah, you should do that? You think that's?
Or they'd probably be like, oh, the victim deserved it.
You know what? She was scantily clad. Or they'll just not say nothing. That's when they won't say nothing. They should have just not said nothing right here. But let's get to the video, man. I've talked enough. Comment down what you think below. Let's go and get to it.
Rollo Tomassi should stop making YouTube videos. Does this mean I want him to be censored? Does this mean I want him to be canceled? Absolutely not. I'm a free speech absolutist. He can post all the videos he wants, but he's doing more harm than good by talking about topics that he knows nothing about. If you don't believe me, watch this clip right here.
Church or in a library, grocery store, mutual friends. Is that the right way? Is that the good way? How many girls do you think, I don't know, Ian, maybe you know, but how many girls on campus have how many of them are paying for their student debt load with OnlyFans? I just saw this story this morning. Somebody passed this along to me. Some chick from the WNBA just started her own OnlyFans, and because they're not paying her enough. If they just paid her more, if they paid her what the men's team was making, she wouldn't have to resort to this, self-prostitution. No, she's doing it because you can make a lot of money out of it. Don't you think that the girls at your quality girl at some point was probably on, selling her ass on Instagram, selling her ass on OnlyFans? I say this all the time, like women's digital footprint is unavoidable. And as such, if you get with a girl who has a digital footprint, unless she's some Amish virgin from the, Dutch country of Pennsylvania, odds are she's probably got an OnlyFans account. Odds are she probably...
Were you on OnlyFans?
I'm pretty sure if I'm on OnlyFans, I'll be losing money. They'll be like, we want refund. We didn't pay for this.
That would crush your career right there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think about what he said right there?
But I don't know why he's like talking about college girls on OnlyFans paying for their student loan, because I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of guys that are on OnlyFans.
I mean, they're not as prevalent as girls, you know that. I mean, but I do think that what he said was silly, because I think it was way too general. Like, you just telling me that all girls automatically on the Instagram automatically got an OnlyFans? Come on, bro. Like we know it is a lot of silly thoughts out here that do probably have OnlyFans, but it's not every single girl.
Yeah, see, I feel like people who are on OnlyFans are the ones that really don't care about the consequences long term, or they are not intelligent enough to think about it that far. Or like they're really struggling, they just don't have the bandwidth to care about it. They have to get out of that.
Okay, so basically he's saying most or all girls don't have the mental capacity to get through. They don't have that. They don't have it. The mental fortitude or the capacity to think about what to do.
He looks like, his body language and his facial expression makes him look like a transgender person to me. You're
he kind of does.
You're trying to ruin me. Like now, every time I look at someone, I'm like,
He kind of has a Kris Jenner, a Bruce Jenner thing going on. Yeah. Let's get going.
Been with a guy before you. If only a virgin bride will do for you, if that's the only measurement for like, perfection, that's the only way you're gonna ever have a successful marriage, then you're looking at the wrong channel and you're living in the wrong world. That's the nuts and bolts of it right there.
I think at least for men in the States, it's been long gone. Like this standard has been long gone, right? They're not looking for a virgin to be the person they're married.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
what is he talking about?
He must be talking to guys in the Middle East or something like that. And the bad thing is, he got a wife and everything, but he's preaching to all these young guys. Yeah, you looking for this and this and this and all that. She got this.
Okay, boomer.
Like, are you kidding me? This dude literally thinks that most college girls pay for their college tuition by having an OnlyFans. Also, not just that, if you have a digital footprint, aka like having an Instagram, being online in any way, shape, or form, that you probably have an OnlyFans. Now, most of you guys listening to this, even guys who are fans of Rollo and FNF, you know that that's complete BS.
Complete.
So why would he say something like that? It's because he is in, and this is an ad hominem attack, by the way, guys. It's going to sound like one for those of you who don't know what a fallacious ad hominem attack is, but this is very relevant in terms of questioning his credibility, okay? So here it is. This guy's in his 50s. He's been married for 20 plus years. The only interactions that he has with, young, hot girls is when he gets flown out to...
He's a boomer.
Does he have a kid?
Yeah, he got kids.
Does he have a daughter?
I don't know.
If he has a daughter and his daughter's in college, does that mean his daughter's paying for her tuition through being an OnlyFans girl?
Uh-oh, Rollo.
Is that where he got the source? He's like, oh, my daughter's on it. That's how I know.
He better check in that dorm room, put a camera in the dorm room, your daughter in that thing. Like,
This would be a guy.
No, if he has a daughter, his daughter's in there. She's on the OnlyFans doing some things by herself to get the money to pay for the tuition.
Oh, he will be the one doing that.
Yeah, so he's looking. He's like T.I. Like he's checking on his daughter's every move, making sure she's doing right, and she in that thing like. Yeah, but like he just basically said what I said. He's a boomer. He's been married 20-some years, and yeah, the only thing that he's got to go off of girls, I guess, like you said, would be his daughter if he got one. But let's keep going and see what he got to say.
Miami to have discussions with these girls that show up on Fresh and Fit. Now, let's be honest here. Miami girls are a bit different than the rest of girls that you might see. But Rollo doesn't understand that. He fundamentally does not understand that because
he's in Miami too?
He's a married man in his 50s. He's never dated. The last time he dated around, I wasn't even born yet. Ooh. Okay? That's how old this guy is. Ooh. And look, if you're just purely looking at things just from a scientific perspective, and just looking at the facts and the evidence, that's fine. But he doesn't do that, right? He thinks that praxeology and the scientific method go together when they inherently contradict one another.
Define the approach praxeology takes in studying human action and deriving universal laws. Unlike the sciences of chemistry or physics, when approaching human beings, praxeology has to employ a method of acquiring knowledge that does not rely on observation, but on discursive reasoning, or we may say, logical deduction. Sciences like chemistry and physics are able to investigate objects and classify them to their minutest details. They can turn our observable world into bits of data to quantify. People, on the other hand, cannot be quantified. Every day, people learn, adopt new values and goals, and change their minds. People cannot be slotted and predicted as can objects without minds or without the capacity to learn and choose.
She basically crushed the whole red pill ideology right there, man. And I think that red pill, like I was saying, like he generalizing too much, and I think a lot of red pill guys generalize too much. But I do think that I think of red pill more as of a safety net than the actual, like, this is concrete right here. Like I think of it as like you just doing this to make sure you kind of like taking precautions. It's kind of like that. I don't think of it as like, oh yeah, this is word is bond. Like if I'm doing like red pill stuff, I'm gonna be thinking like, all right, man, she could do this, but hey. Yeah.
I feel like they're, like you said, it's like, you can generalize people just a little bit, but you can't be like putting the framework, what do you call it, the steel and the brick and the walls. The
brick and mortar, I guess. I don't know what you're saying.
Well, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, so I feel like you can generalize people to a certain extent. For example, right? It's like, take myself as an example.
Yeah.
It's like you can say dating a nation from, I guess, the East in general versus dating a woman from the West. In general, there might be these differences, but it does not mean all the women from the West are like that. All the women from the East are like that. It's just a general trend based on the culture and the background we were raised in, we were brought up in. So this will fall into the norm, but it's like not everyone's the same.
Right.
So, or it's like something that's being passed on from generations. But as you can see, even from Rollo Tomassi's generation to our generation, things are drastically different. So you can't just assume everything stays the same.
Right.
So
yeah. Like he said, man, none of us was even born when he was talking about some girl, what you want to do? You want to come to my house?
Like, are you gonna get dating advice from your grandparents?
They were meeting at the diner and the drive-through.
Right.
That's what they were doing back then.
Like, you can listen to them on like how to treat a person nicely, like. Or like you have to like dissect the information they gave you and pick whatever applies to yourself, but you can't just follow everything to it. Exactly.
I say that all the time. You broke it down really well right there, man. But I do always say that. I was always saying it all the time. I think like you should take what things you think apply for real out of the red pill, and you know, the other stuff you just kind of got to disregard it. Like you got somebody like if you got some old 50, like you kind of got to do the math. If you got an old 50-year-old guy telling you about this, he been married for 20 years, then I mean, is his advice really all solid? If you got a fat ass dude trying to tell you about this and how you get all these girls, is it really solid? If you have an ugly guy like Fresh trying to tell you how he gets all these girls and all that, and then you see that he's got a sugar site and he got a sugar baby and all that kind of stuff, is it really solid? He's talking about 1,000 girls. You gotta think about all this stuff. He's lost his credibility just by saying them lies.
In the mind, and there's
Do you think Rollo will have the humility to admit he is completely wrong about praxeology? Let me know what you think in the comments. Not at all. He will not. Him and Donovan Sharp are kind of on that same like boomer mentality where they're like, yeah, my way. Back in my day, we used to do this. Like I was telling Duke and Don the other day, man. Like when you got them boxing trainers and they tell you like, yeah, we used to throw a jab like this and all that kind of stuff. No, like it's kind of the same thing. Like how when Ali first burst on the scene, he was moving around and shaking around, and they were just like, yeah, stand up and fight like this, ha ha ha, and they were looking at him crazy. But then they all got beat up. It's kind of like the same thing.
So what if someone argues back, like say like if Ali were to give people advice, right, from his time, do you think those advice will still be valid nowadays? I think
Ali's advice would probably stand the test of time. I think he had some skills that I think could stand the test of time.
Okay, then Rollo can be like, then in that case, why are my advice outdated?
It's just different. I don't know. Like you can clearly look at Ali's style and you can see guys utilizing it today and making it work. But Rollo's like old ass like everything's like things have changed significantly. Like from whatever time he was back in the day when he was doing his thing.
Do you think it has anything to do with the sample size? It's like you said, Ali had extensive experience and knowledge.
Yeah.
So he's seen way more diverse technique and all that. Right. So and then he came up with his conclusion.
Yeah.
But for him, it's like he only met people, I guess, from his early 20s, and then he got married.
Right. And he probably dealt with like the same lady for like most of his life.
That's true.
So yeah, that's one thing that I would say that would debunk him as well. Yeah, like you said, you kind of added on to the argument. Well, you did add on to, not kind of, you did. Team, let's get it.
Two perfect people out there for someone out there in the big wide world. Okay, fine. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the notepad and we're gonna erase this and we're gonna put something else in there because in a praxeology and a scientific method, we write down our findings in pencil, not in pen.
He literally just debunked himself. Like, guys, this literally sounds like somebody who's never, like, stepped outside of his house. And I find it really interesting because apparently he has a daughter who's in her early 20s.
What?
So you'd think he'd have more interactions like this. But that also begs the question, if he thinks that all 20-year-olds who pay their way through college, who have a digital footprint, are paying for it through OnlyFans, if his daughter has a social media account, does she have an OnlyFans? Look, I'm not one of those types of people. I don't want to draw.
Imagine his daughter's friends listening to this bullshit theory, and then the only thing they will think about will be, oh, his daughter probably is an OnlyFans.
Imagine dating Rollo Tomassi's daughter, and you listen to Rollo Tomassi, and how would it be for his daughter? Because everything that he's saying, that he's the guy's taking it real seriously. Imagine that.
His daughter probably be like, oh, don't listen to my dad's bullshit. He's just doing it for the money.
So she would just say he's a boomer.
Yeah, or like he's just doing it for the money.
And then what if the boyfriend be like, yeah, I read your dad's book, The Iron Rules. Yeah, well, you're doing this right now, so you're gaslighting me. What if he comes back with that? Then what? She just has to leave him?
You sound really dumb that you follow my dad's everything. It's like, you know, like I would be dating my dad instead if I want someone that follows my dad's theory to that extent, right? Okay. It's like, why might I want to date like a copycat version of my dad?
Right, and then he comes back with, huh, well, you're just a thought. You're probably on OnlyFans paying for college that way.
Okay, remember to buy the book that my dad wrote, okay? I know.
Okay, so basically he's going to be jacking off that night.
I guess so.
Okay, alright. No action.
People's families into this, okay? But like, it's a relevant question to ask. I mean, he might be really telling on himself here by saying that. Now, hey, you know, maybe his daughter doesn't have social media, which is probably a good thing because I think social media in general is pretty toxic. I try not to use social media that much myself. But, I mean, how could this guy possibly think that most girls who have their tuition paid for did it through OnlyFans? Like, are you joking?
Are you joking?
Put that aside. The more ridiculous take that he had is if somebody has a digital footprint, right? They have like their Instagram profile on public, that they're more likely to have OnlyFans than not. This guy doesn't live in reality. This is the problem with these manosphere echo chambers and the fact that, you know, these guys, Rollo especially, since he's in his 50s and he doesn't really interact with 20-plus-year-olds on a daily basis, 20 to 30 young people, he actually has a diluted view of how people interact nowadays. He genuinely thinks that most girls have an OnlyFans. And that if you are on social media, you probably have an OnlyFans. He literally said that.
You know what else they say? Him and Donovan Sharp, I don't know if he said it, but Donovan Sharp would be like, yeah, when you date a girl, you have to get all her passwords to her social media, or else you don't date her at all. You have to get all her passwords, or she has to get off of social media. He says that. He actually says that. What do you think about that?
So basically his point is, if you're dating someone, instead of being two separate individuals, you have to combine to one.
Yeah. What do y'all think about that, man? Fellas, ladies. So fellas, you got a girlfriend and all that. Would you feel like you need to get all the social media passwords, and she got to get all social media? And ladies, how would you take to a man who's like, get off social media now? Even if you make money off of it, we'll find you something new. Work at McDonald's in the meantime. How would you feel about that? No. Yeah, it's just a no. Like, I think it's just way too controlling, man. Just I don't know. You can't really control everything anyway, man. If she is on some bullshit, man, she's gonna find another way to do the bullshit. Right. So I mean, it's no need to be out here on policing the whole everything.
Exactly. If you're just like forcing her to get off and she doesn't understand why, then she's just gonna find another way to get on it again. Right. Like, because it makes no sense to her.
Yeah, it's dumb, and that's that old guy boomer talk, man. It's like you don't really know how to get the social media going. Like, you're not really adept at social media, so like for you it seems like a whole new world of like that's just like, oh man, I can't even fathom this. Like, so you're just like, you don't even know how to like intercept it and do this and stop her from doing that. So you feel like, oh, no social media.
Oh, just get off for good.
Yeah, exactly. Just get off for good. Like, since I don't know shit about it, you can't get on it.
Right, because I have no control over what you're doing over there.
Right, exactly.
But you know why he felt like all the girls have OnlyFans?
Why?
Because imagine he's like 50 something, right? Yeah. Like you said, he's not really in contact with the younger generation.
Right.
And he turns on TV, not TV. TV. He turns on YouTube and then he watches Fresh and Fit and he sees all the girls on there. OnlyFans. He'll be like talking to his wife, be like, see? All these girls nowadays, their mind, oh my God, contaminated.
So you think instead of watching football games, boxing, or baseball, basketball, stuff like that, you think he's probably sitting there on a Sunday evening watching Fresh and Fit. Look at that play right there, the Fit man. Yeah, he kicked her out with the 4-4 fakey kick out. Or yeah, look at Fresh. You see right here, this is a technique that they call, these new guys call trolling. They do this, they do something, they make it looks absolutely real, then they come back and then they trick everybody. They say it was trolling.
Is that what trolling means?
Kind of, but that's not exactly. Well, yeah, Fresh wasn't trolling, but
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I feel like because he probably tries to stay connected to the younger generation somehow, but the only way he can is through internet.
That's real though. That's real, and I think the only way that he's really like that's another layer I want to add to it. He stays connected by looking at Fresh and Fit, which, like I say all the time, Fresh and Fit is not the right look. Like he was just saying also. The girls in Miami are a whole nother monster in comparison to the girls everywhere. I mean, yeah, you got girls everywhere that act like that. Like, depending on what kind of city you in, like, you're going to have some girls. Like, here in Atlanta, we have a good little bit of girls that are like that, too. I guess, like, back in Philly, where that girl Miranda is, you got some girls like that, too. Mm-hmm. Chicago, New York, L.A., all the places that are decent are going to have some girls like that, too. But, I mean, like, since we're talking about Miami, where Fresh and Fit is, that's what he's getting all of his intel from.
But if you actually step outside of your house and into the real world, you're not going to be interacting with those girls all the time.
Exactly. Like I say, I know that there's a bunch of girls here that are like that from Fresh and Fit, but I know a whole bunch of girls that also are not like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's just like one of these little red pill ducks, except he's old. Yeah, let's get it.
So this is why it's relevant. His age and his experience and how he's been married for 20 plus years, it makes him completely detached from reality of what's actually going on.
Guilty.
He just assumes every single girl that is on Fresh and Fit is representative of what girls in general are like in society. Young girls in their 20s. He doesn't understand that it might just be kind of a selection bias of, hey, girls who want to gain clout, girls who want to gain Instagram followers, girls who want to have a life in Miami where they can just, hustle a bunch of sugar daddies and be sugar babies, that those are the types of girls that tend to want to be on Fresh and Fit. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're representative of girls you might find in, Iowa, Kansas, even, like where I'm from, Philly, Texas. Worldwide. This dude literally thinks that all of the Miami girls, the gold digging girls, the ones on the sugar daddy websites, that's representative of how all women are. Unless, of course, he's only speaking to people in Miami, but he's not. He's speaking to a worldwide audience. He's even talked about how he wants to have his book translated into different languages so that other people can read them. I assume all of them live outside of Miami, or most of them do. Like, guys, put aside all the other things, just logically speaking. I debunked so many other different things about Rollo. I'm going to do a lot more about him soon. We like to make fun of Fresh and Fit and everything, of course, because it's hilarious and the hypocrisy is real. But where do you think they get these ideas from? Like, Fresh and Fit, their ideology is not original at all. They get it from Rollo Tomassi.
And now
they sip and show his book all the time. So this guy who is completely detached.
So basically it's like a cycle, right? Yeah. You learn it from someone and then you reinstate it and you kind of reinforce and reinstate each other's point, and you only stay in your own like sphere. Yeah. So you're just like so close-minded. Yeah. You just feel like, yes.
But Rollo Tomassi is boring now and he's like losing traction. And like Fresh and Fit is like entertaining, even though they're lame as hell, they're entertaining and they bring different girls on there. They're bringing guys on there that I don't think that they should have on there, but they're bringing guys on there that are that are just cool to everybody. Like you brought on some comedians like Michael Black, you brought on Kodak Black. These are guys that aren't even in that walk of life. They haven't had these kind of issues for real. They just wanted they just attract a different audience. So like they're the hot new thing right now. And if they keep that up, they probably will continue to be hot, unfortunately. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, man, I think we're gonna stop the video right there, man. If you want to watch the rest of the video, I'm gonna link it down in the description down there below. Go ahead and subscribe to Kevin Ray Wilder, man. Let us know what you guys think about this whole situation, man. What do you guys think about Rollo Tomassi? Do you mess with him? Do you watch him? What do you think about his teachings? What do you think about his book? Do you think that it applies, man? I think that I don't know, Trey. Based off what Trey's telling me and what you telling me, man, like
he bought it too.
No, he didn't buy it.
Oh.
But I think like a lot of red pill stuff doesn't fully apply to like Asian culture, kind of. Okay. Like certain things about it probably do, but yeah. But I don't know. He said it's like not a lot of games out there.
Because it's like I don't know about other Asian culture. I know a little bit. I can speak off it, but just as much as like Chinese culture, I think we really value our honor, right? Yeah. So it's like, yes, you can get money and get rich and everything. That's good for you, but we also care about how you got rich.
How many girls in China do you think are on OnlyFans right now?
None. Government censorship.
Oh, so Rollo Tomassi's translation of a book wouldn't really be needed in China.
No, they would probably his book would probably open a new door, and all the girls be like, "Ooh, must get through a VPN, get on OnlyFans."
Ooh, but you know what I think about Rollo? He'll probably be like, "Yeah, the commies over there, the commies."
No, but I do know there are other like platforms where girls can like live stream. Okay. It's very similar to OnlyFans, but it's like.
So it happens, but like you'll be kind of shamed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And the guys, there are definitely guys that are like simping, buying them gifts online, but it's like, yeah, you always see news about guys being scammed because later on it turns out the girl's not even a girl. It's like, you know. Like,
yeah. So I guess kind of like how we were saying, like you can apply like some of the stuff. But then I guess like it depends on the culture, and then like since the culture over there for the most part they shame people for doing things that aren't really that great. Like here we award it, like, you know, you're fat as a bit, like Lizzo, we award that. We award girls acting like thoughts. We award people for doing really, really stupid things like stealing and then running out the store and all that. But in China, like you'll be looked down upon. Like there's gonna be a couple outliers that's willing to do it, but for the most part you'll be. You know, you're not yet.
And also family is a huge concept too. Yeah. So you have to think about how it's going to impact your family. Right. How your parents will be so ashamed. Yeah. It's like, nah, no way.
Oh, so disownership. Yeah, man. But that's it right there for the video, man. Like I said, go subscribe to Kevin Ray Wilder. Of course, subscribe to me. And let us know what you guys let us know what you guys think about this this whole thing, man, down in the comments below. If you watched up to this point, thank you again. Have a great day. And we'll see you next time.